It is bedtime. Your child is tired. You are tired. But instead of getting calmer, everything suddenly becomes harder. One more story, one more drink of water, one more hug, one more trip to the bathroom. And just when you think your child is finally ready to sleep, they get up again. If bedtime often feels like a battle in your home, you are not alone. Many parents feel frustrated, exhausted, and even guilty at the end of the day. You may ask yourself, why does my child fight bedtime so much? Why can't they just lie down and sleep? And why does the evening become so stressful when everyone is already tired? In this video, we will look at why bedtime can feel so difficult for children. Hold the boundary, stay nearby, and teach later after the storm has passed. Parenting does not have to be perfect. Small, calm moments, repeated over time, can change the whole atmosphere in your home. If this video helped you, subscribing to Parenting Made Calmer can be a helpful way to get more calm parenting tips for real everyday situations. New videos will continue to focus on simple, practical ways to handle everyday parenting challenges with more confidence and less stress. So subscribing makes sure you don't miss the next one. Let's make parenting a little calmer, one moment at a time. Bedtime problems can look different in every family. Some children run around the house and suddenly seem full of energy. Some children cry when it is time to go to bed. Some keep asking for another story, another snack, another light, or another hug. Some children leave their room again and again. And some simply say, "I am not tired." For parents, this can feel confusing, because often the child actually is tired. Their eyes are heavy, their body is slowing down. They may even be more emotional than usual, but instead of relaxing into sleep, they resist. And when this happens night after night, parents can start to feel trapped in the same pattern. You try to stay calm, then you repeat yourself, then you explain, then you get frustrated, and before you know it, bedtime becomes the most stressful part of the day. But bedtime resistance is not always about defiance. Very often, it is about transition, separation, control, and connection. To an adult, bedtime may seem simple. The day is over, it is time to rest. But for a child, bedtime can feel like a big transition. They have to stop playing. They have to leave the people they love. They have to move from light, noise, and activity into quiet and stillness. And for many children, that change is hard. Bedtime also means separation. Even if your child is safe in their room, they may still feel that moment of distance from you. They may not have the words to say, "I want to stay close to you. I do not want the day to end. I need help feeling safe enough to sleep." So instead, they ask for more things. Another hug, another question, another reason to keep you nearby. Bedtime can also bring up feelings from the whole day. A child who seemed fine earlier may suddenly become emotional at night. This happens because the evening is often the first quiet moment of the day. And when things get quiet, feelings can come up. So when your child fights bedtime, it may not mean they are trying to make your evening harder. It may mean their body is tired, their emotions are full, and they need support moving into rest. Most bedtime mistakes happen because parents are exhausted. You have already had a long day. You want some quiet time. You want the house to finally calm down. So when your child keeps resisting, it is very easy to react from frustration. One common mistake is starting bedtime too late. When children become overtired, they often do not become calmer. They become more emotional, more restless, and more difficult to guide. Another mistake is making the routine different every night. One night there are 2 stories. The next night there are 5. One night the child gets another snack. The next night the answer is no. This can confuse children. They start to test the routine because they do not know what to expect. Another common mistake is too much talking. Parents explain again and again, "You need sleep. You have school tomorrow. We already talked about this." But when a child is tired, long explanations usually do not help. Another mistake is threatening. "If you get out of bed again, you will lose everything tomorrow." Threats may stop behavior for a moment, but they often create more fear and tension. And one more mistake is giving in after saying no. If the boundary changes every time the child cries or argues, bedtime becomes a negotiation. Children feel safer when the routine is kind, clear, and predictable. So, what actually helps when your child fights bedtime? First, start before your child is completely exhausted. A calmer bedtime often begins earlier than we think. This does not mean rushing, it means giving your child time to slow down. Dim the lights, lower the noise, turn off screens early, move from active play into quieter activities. Children need a bridge between the busy day and sleep. Second, create the same simple routine every night. It does not have to be complicated. For example, pajamas, brush teeth, one story, one hug, lights out. The exact routine matters less than the consistency. When the steps are the same, your child knows what comes next. That predictability helps the body and brain relax. Third, offer connection before the final boundary. Many children ask for more because they are looking for closeness. So give connection intentionally before the last good night. You might say, "Let's have our last big hug. I am so glad I got to spend time with you today. You are safe, and I am nearby." This gives your child warmth before the separation. Then hold the boundary calmly. For example, "It is bedtime now. I will see you in the morning. I love you. It is time to rest." Keep your words short. Keep your voice calm. The goal is not to win a debate. The goal is to help your child trust the routine. A helpful bedtime routine should feel simple and repeatable. It should not depend on perfect behavior. It should guide your child gently from activity to rest. You can use a visual routine if your child needs extra support. A small chart with pictures can show bath, pajamas, teeth, story, hug, sleep. This helps because your child does not have to rely only on spoken instructions. They can see what comes next. You can also use a calm warning before transitions. For example, "In 10 minutes, we will start bedtime." Then, "In 5 minutes, we will put toys away." Then, "Now it is time for pajamas." This gives your child time to switch. And when your child asks for one more thing, try to keep your response warm but consistent. You can say, "We already had our last drink." "We already had our last story." "I know you want more. The routine is finished now." This may feel repetitive, but repetition is part of what makes bedtime feel safe. The calmer and more predictable you are, the easier it becomes over time. Imagine this. Your child has brushed their teeth, put on pajamas, and listened to one story. You give them a hug and say, "Good night, I love you, it is time to sleep." 2 minutes later, they come out of the room. They say, "I need water." You calmly say, "We already had water. It is bedtime now." You walk them back. A few minutes later, they come out again. This time they say, "I am not tired." You take a breath. You keep your voice low. You say, "It is okay if sleep takes a little time. You can rest in your bed." You walk them back again. You do not argue. You do not lecture. You do not restart the whole routine. You simply repeat the same calm message. Your child may still be upset. That does not mean you are doing it wrong. It means they are learning that bedtime has a clear ending. They are learning that you are kind, but the boundary stays. Over time, this creates safety, because your child knows what will happen. They know you will stay calm, and they know the routine will not change every night. Bedtime is not always easy. For children, it can bring up tiredness, separation, big feelings, and the struggle to let go of the day. For parents, it can bring frustration, exhaustion, and the feeling that there is never a real break. But bedtime does not have to become a battle every night. Small changes can make a real difference. Start earlier. Slow the evening down. Keep the routine simple. Offer connection before the final good night. Use fewer words and hold the boundary calmly. Your child does not need a perfect parent. They need a steady one. A parent who can say, "I love you. You are safe. And now it is time to rest." With patience and repetition, bedtime can become calmer. Not perfect, but calmer. And sometimes calmer is exactly what a family needs. If this video helped you, subscribing to parenting. Made Calmer is a simple way to get more calm parenting support for real, everyday situations. New videos will continue to share practical ideas for handling parenting challenges with more confidence, connection, and less stress. So subscribing helps you not miss the next one. Let's make parenting a little calmer, one moment at a time.